What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? How you guys doing tonight, man? Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Town Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement, aka the Virtual Shore. Looking at my hat, man, this hat's been through it, ain't it? It's funny what happens when you put a bright LED light on a hat. Look at this hat, man. It's one of my old ones. I probably got about, seriously, of this exact hat, I probably got about 15 of them. And I just grabbed one out of the closet, and as you can see, this one it's not too shiny. Not too spiffy. Look at that. That's crazy. What it is, we gonna rock it, dog. We gonna rock with it. It's old, because that's how we playing. We playing like trash, so I'm gonna wear the trash looking hat. But what's happening, man? Y'all know how we do, man. Let's say what's up to the early commenters. We're gonna get into it tonight. Tonight is the night for phone calls, so if you guys have something on your chest, say it, and say it with your chest. So let's do it. Let's cut the timer on. Gonna keep everything in perspective tonight, man. I'm waiting for my little man to get home. He's actually out with father-in-law Leonard. My niece is trying out for basketball, and my little man tried out last night as well. He has his second tryout tomorrow. The rec leagues are pretty big around here, right? And we found out what team he's gonna be on. But he wanted to ride with Leonard, Pop as they call him. So he'll be moseying in here at some point. My wife actually is out of town this week for her job, so it's just him and I. So I'm gonna try to keep things a little tighter tonight. Stay within the timeline. But let's get to it, man. Let's say what's up to the early commenters. Hello, Jared Devil, Aaron Morris. Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing, Miss Lady? Thank you for tuning in. You are always here. We really appreciate you, Lanisha. Make sure everyone takes time to say hello to Lanisha, a lovely lady of the chat. Joshua Shields, Kev So Fun, Sporty or Sport 8, Cut Boy, Vista Light, Chris Fowler. Is it Chris Fowler? I like that. Hello, the real Missy. Appreciate you coming through, Miss Lady. Hello. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. Everyone take time to say hello to the real Missy as well. Another lovely lady of the chat. And while we're at it, Miss Odessa. Hello, Odessa. Appreciate you coming through as well. Another lovely lady of the chat. Make sure you all take time out and say hello to the ladies. Tristan Cooper, Ali Howard, Ernest Grice, Brian Williams. Who else we got up in here? Jersey Boy 70. Oh, man. Round of applause to Jersey Boy. Oh, hold on. Let me cut on my my electronics. 1 second, but we're going to give a round of applause to Jersey Boy. He says it's his birthday, so Steeler Nation, in great Steeler Nation fashion, let's make sure we wish him a happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. Appreciate you spending some of your birthday with me and Steeler Nation, man. We really appreciate that, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have many more. Live long, brother. Somebody said can't hear. Cut Boy says he can't hear. Y'all can't hear me? Y'all can't hear me? Let me scroll down. You guys can hear me, right? He says can't hear. I'm assuming you can hear me, so I'm going to keep going. Y'all let me know if you can or you can't. Who else we got up in here? Deron Smith. What's up, Deron? Tough Carter. Matt Williams. Tony Carlson. Bettsburgh. Hello, Miss Diane. Hello, Diane. Gusevic. I think I got that right? I think I said it correctly. I know I asked you before, but hello, Diane. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate that. Another lovely lady of the chat. So make sure you all say a warm hello and welcome to Diane as well. Black Thanos, what's good, man? Who else? Kev So Fun, still a Lee. And I think we got him pretty good. Okay. All right, yeah, I thought y'all could hear me, man. I'm just making sure. Somebody else earlier said they can't hear me, so. Mr. Winningham, what's going on, Mr. Winningham? Appreciate you coming through. All right, he says, good evening, beautiful. Oh, man, I love it. See, y'all can learn from Mr. Winningham. See how he talked to the ladies? My man, Mr. Winningham. But all right, man, Go ahead, Kenyon. Oh, man, my boy Kenyon. Oh, we got a donation really quick, man, before we move forward. It's going to pop on the screen, but I'm actually looking at the screen so I can see it in the chat. So let's just do the round of applause now, right? This is an interesting point. And arguably, you could say he might be right. Says, last legit OC we had was Todd Haley. That could be possible. What up, Floyd? Big brother, cousin Floyd. And if y'all don't understand why I call him big brother cousin, hey, y'all ain't been here long enough. And also, if you don't understand why I call him Floyd and why he calls me Floyd, you ain't been here long enough. Because clearly, you see that's not his name. And he says, what up, Floyd? What up, Floyd? Man, let me say this real quick, too, before I forget. And I'm going to say it later. I tried to get the All-22 out before the show, but it's actually still processing. It literally has about 13 minutes left in my software. I spent more time with it than I thought. It's about 50-something minutes long. It is the entire first half as far as what the Bills did. It is worth your watch. You know, not promoting it. I'm just saying, if you guys are members of the channel, it's worth your watch. And yeah, I told Floyd earlier, there's a play that I'm going to talk about here on the show. Y'all will see it. That is severely going to piss you off, man. It is that 98-yard touchdown. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. When y'all see it, please, when y'all watch it, make sure you comment because I want to hear y'all's thoughts. Round of applause to Sport 8 for the donation. Appreciate it. Then I'm going to get back on track. Oh, I like this. I like this. I love when somebody say, let me get it off my chest. He says, okay, let me get this completely off my chest. I've been a Steelers fan for 30 plus years, and I've never seen us play as bad as we played Sunday. Father-in-law Leonard would agree with you on that because that's what he was saying to me. I'm disgusted with this defense. KP8 looks promising. You know what? Honestly, man, Sport 8, I don't think anyone could really disagree with that sentiment. You know, whether it is the worst, people can debate that. But I don't think none of us could disagree with that with the way we lost that game. I understand we had injuries, but sometimes it's just the way you lose. And we came into this thing thinking the defense was going to be able to hold things down a bit. And Sunday just debunked all of that. So I am not upset with that take at all. Not at all. Not at all. But all right, man. Excuse me. Let's get to it so we don't have to be too long-winded tonight. Hold on. Something's going on with my... Give me a second, guys. Something's going on with my border here. Let me fix it. All right, there we go. All right. First thing on the agenda. And you guys, y'all see my thumbnail. You see my thumbnail and you see the title of the show. Oh, yes. As much as I am a fan of Mike Tomlin, and I am, got questions for Mike T, man. I got quite a few questions for Mike T because of things that he has told us. And I am not sold on one individual who works for the organization in terms of, player, coach, et cetera, et cetera. That's not how I roll. That's not how I roll. I'm going to give criticism when criticism is due, even if I like somebody. I'm that type of friend in real life. If you're wrong, I'll be like, yo, you was wrong for that. And you could be my best friend. That's just who I am. So, Mike Tomlin, I got questions for you tonight. I really do. But the first thing we're going to talk about, man, is a few things I took from Tomlin's conference today. He does this thing on Tuesdays, for those of you that, may or may not know. First thing he said is, we're not going to fix all of these issues in one day, so to speak. That's kind of what he said. I agree with that. More importantly, I'm glad that he acknowledged that. I'm glad that he's not selling some type of facade because he's absolutely right. There's no way that we're going to be able to magically solve these issues in 1 week or 2 weeks. It's going to have to be something that's put in place, and we see that continually start to develop. Meaning, maybe you see a run. Maybe the Steelers get on a run and they start winning. Even if they're not winning, maybe you're just seeing better play. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be against the Bucs. That's not even if they play well. It's not going to take one night because it's been consecutive games that they haven't had it right. It's going to be the same amount of thing trying to get things in order. I agree with that. However, Mike Tomlin might have a lot to do with that. We'll get into it. The injuries. Whoa, boy. Not only did we get beat, we got beat up. Let me read these injuries off to you guys. Cam Sutton, dealing with the hamstring. Minkah Fitzpatrick is still managing a knee. We already knew that. Him coming into the week, he had a minor knee issue that he tweaked the week before. Levi Wallace is in the concussion protocol. Akello Witherspoon is still working and nursing his hamstring injury. Larry Ogunjobi left with a back injury, could not return to the game. Fryermuth in a concussion protocol as well. You guys saw the nasty hit that he took. Zach Gentry is managing a knee as well. And also Montravius Adams is dealing with the hip. Now, if there's any light at the end of the tunnel, Tomlin did say, as I quote, he says, many of these injuries have a management component, meaning they're manageable. Y'all know what Tomlin always says. He will let their participation be the guide. But that is something worth keeping an eye on. That is a lot of injuries. He also acknowledged the injuries in the secondary. Remember, we were already without Witherspoon. We were already without Terrell Edmonds. And that, I'm sure, dictated and, played a role as far as what we did with some of the personnel. But again, he says it. I will say it. Many coaches say it. It's not an excuse. Injuries are a component. There are a lot of teams dealing with injuries. Buffalo has injuries in their defense. It's not an excuse. If you're on the NFL level, if you make it to the 53 out of 90 guys, then at the very least you should be capable. I'm not saying every person at every position is going to be, plug and play. We can replace him with him. Obviously, that's not the case. Obviously, there's some dudes who start because they're the best player. TJ Watt, you're not going to replace him with who we have behind him. However, these guys should be at least capable of playing better. So I'm agreeing with that. Injuries should never be an excuse. You acknowledge it, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's about execution. Mike Tomlin also said that he's highly... Before I get to this point, let me skip over a point because I actually want to talk about this a little bit later. I'm going to copy and paste this right now because this is going to be a question a little bit later before we get to the phone call. So I'm going to get there. It's going to be my roundup topic about my questions for Mike. So let's skip that one. Next I have here, Tomlin mentioned that Minkah played in the box a lot because it was a component of Josh Allen's mobility and his style of play. Okay. Because I had questions. As I watched the All-22, and you guys who are going to see the All-22 are going to hear me say it a lot, and this was before I watched the press conference. And I will say that right now. I'm not a fan of Minkah Fitzpatrick being out of the post, meaning post safety, meaning free safety. I'm not a fan of that. Now, if you want to mix and match, do that from time to time, cool. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of the guy who appears to be the best center fielder that we have, the ball hawk. I'm never a fan of taking that guy out of the secondary against a passing quarterback. I get it. You want to put somebody there who can maybe match Josh Allen's wits and speed and somewhat size. I get it, but no. I just don't agree with that. That doesn't make him a bad coach or whatever. I just don't agree with ever taking Minkah Fitzpatrick out of playing the pass. Just my opinion. Now, I know a lot of times we rob him and stuff on cover one and stuff like that. I get that. But I'm talking about him just playing in the box and playing close to the line. Not on 3rd and 10, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. Not a fan of that, man. I'm sorry. That's one of my questions that I had for Mike T. Why are we doing that so much? He said that was the reason why. Okay, I got to accept his answer. I don't have to agree with it. But I'm glad that someone in that room asked the question And that's what he said. Okay, if that was your counter to it, okay, at least there's an explanation. At least I don't have to wonder why it happened. It was done purposely. I just don't agree. Now, let's talk about a couple things that I observed in this game, particularly watching the All-22. I got to take back what I said about Myles Jack, folks. I'm going to take a sip of water and let that sink in for a minute before I get all the way into it. Got to take back what I said Sunday night about Myles Jack. And this is why I love doing the post-game show. I should start calling that the knee-jerk reaction. But that's why I love doing that. And then I love watching the film and reassessing the situation. Myles Jack didn't play bad. None of the guys were really that great in coverage per se. But now Myles Jack made some relatively decent plays in the run game. You're going to see it on the All-22. I got to take back what I said. I know what we said on Sunday is these guys have not been impactful. Maybe both him and Bush and Spillane, none of them have been playmakers. So I think we all agree there. But I'm not going to say that Myles Jack is not playing well. Myles Jack actually is playing relatively well in situations where we need him to play. Like, again, against the run. There was one that I'm going to show you guys that see the All-22 where he ducked under the lineman, made the tackle. The first drive, the one that Josh Allen threw the 98-yard touchdown, that second down play. Phenomenal play by Myles Jack, and he had a few of those moments in the game. So again, just because, he's not being the playmaker and things that are jumping off screen, I got to acknowledge that he is playing relatively well. I don't have too many complaints with his game so far. Could he be a little more explosive? Sure, all of them could. But I want to walk back a little bit what I said as far as him not playing that well. That wouldn't be correct. Maybe he's just not making a lot of plays. As far as, splash plays. What else do I have here in my notations? I have Jaylen Warren is playing on third down more and more. Shout out to Steelers Depot for posting that earlier. I also saw that in the All-22. Mike Tomlin mentioned that as much as well in the conference. And he said it will continue. He said that Jaylen Warren's role has increased and it will increase. Now, what Alex Kazur was pointing out, and I've heard a couple of other people say this, some of you guys in the chat also, Jaylen Warren has had better pass protection so far, it seems like. And I think what I mentioned Sunday, what quite a few people are saying, some of you all got, saying the same thing. I think we're on to something. I don't think Najee's right. I do not think that he's healthy because I do not think that what we're seeing out of Najee Harris is a lack of talent or a lack of know-how. I don't believe that. Do not believe that. That's why I appreciate, outfits like, you hear me, I'm sounding like how the older folk talk. Outfits. But I do appreciate outfits like Steelers Depot where they have the time to, do that type of work where, I think one of those guys put up a comparison of rookie year versus now, showing the differences in, he just doesn't look right, guys. And people don't regress like that. That's already a talent. This dude has the talent. So I know the first thing people are going to say, oh, he sucks. Oh, he was a bust. He was a wasted pick. I'm not going there. Everyone here probably agrees that maybe you don't take a first round running back, but at the same time, I didn't disagree with who they took. That dude is a talent. I may not spend a first round pick on him just because of the position itself, but there's no way this dude regressed like that talent-wise. We know he got injured. We know he didn't do very much training camp. We know he didn't play in the preseason. I just think he's nursing an injury, man, that might be a little more serious than we think. Maybe that's why he's hesitant a little more. Maybe he doesn't have the push off, or maybe he's not confident with, planting is hard because what did they say? They said it was like it leaked that it was possibly a Liz Frank injury or something like that, I think they said. So I think it's clear in his play that he's not right. But I'm not mad at Jaylen Warren getting that burn, man. This dude is, he seems like he's the hit it quicker, hit the hole quicker. And, he's been effective in pass pro. So, listen, I'm glad to have him. I think that was a great choice, making him the number 2 guy on the depth chart. So we shall see how that progresses. One of you guys that came up, donation. I'm sorry if I missed one, but round of applause to Sean Manahan. He says Pickett forced too many throws to Deontay Johnson. 14 is better. Okay, so you're saying George Pickens. I don't know if I came away from the film thinking that he forced a lot to Deontay. I mean, it's how the offense is designed. Deontay Johnson is the number 1 receiver. I mean, Deontay Johnson runs probably better routes right now than George Pickens. I mean, as an overall talent, Deontay right now is probably the quote-unquote better overall, with George Pickens very rapidly emerging. But it's no surprise that maybe Kenny and Mitch went to Deontay because, again, a lot of these plays are designed for him. So I don't want people to get caught up sometimes where we think it's the quarterback's decision. Sometimes it is. Sometimes they have their target. But also you have to account for the component of what was the play design. You know, so it's always hard for me to say that, you know what I mean? It's always hard for me to say that the quarterback is forcing it to somebody, not this early from Kenny. I mean, we could see that with others. We could see it with Ben when clearly Ben was just trying to hit Deontay last year. That was clear. I won't go so far to say that about Kenny Pickett yet because Kenny he's a game and a half into his NFL career. So we'll see. And honestly, I think Kenny Pickett spread the ball around quite a bit. So that's why I don't know if I can agree with that just yet. And Pickens is definitely playing better. Yeah, I don't think. Well, again, Pickens is catching the ball. Overall play, Deontay is playing well except for his drops. And I know some of y'all are going to say, well, how could he be? What I'm talking about is the overall. Deontay Johnson continuously gets open. This boy just need to catch the ball more. Like, look at some of the catches that he made that weren't actually completions, almost getting his feet in. He did it twice in this game. He did it once in the game when Trubisky threw it to him at the back of the end zone. He's still getting open and making catches, but he's dropping the ball too when he shouldn't. He had a drop in this game when Kenny had to roll out and Deontay did what he was supposed to, worked into an open spot of the field on the scramble drill. Kenny threw it cross body, tad bit high, but well, again, Deontay loves Rockefeller. It's the rock. He does that, and the ball goes right between his hands. So that's what I mean when I say, oh, he's playing well, but he has drops. I think y'all understand what I'm trying to say there. He's still getting open and stuff like that, but the boy ain't catching the ball. George Pickens has been more reliable with these. These have been more reliable than Deontay Johnson so far this season. That is a fact. All right, let's keep it moving, man, because I see the time is moving. What else do I got? Somebody wanted me to discuss Juju's comment about the offense. I'll be very quick with that. You know, Juju was quoted as saying that he's learned so much in just a few months from Andy Reid, and he learned all of his time in Pittsburgh in terms of offense and how you run an offense and spacing and yada, yada, yada. I'll say this. Two things. Most people, a lot of you in the chat, have not felt as if our offensive coordinators were good. That would be Randy Fichtner and Matt Canada, basically for the duration of Juju's career, mostly, right? You guys have said they weren't good offensive minds. So there's the answer to your question right there. If Juju said that and you don't think these guys have great offensive minds, then not so much of a surprise. The second part of that answer would be it's Andy Reid. I don't think anyone in this chat feels as if Andy Reid's offense hasn't been good. And his creativity and him along with Eric Bieniemy. And so I'm just saying, I don't think it's so much of an indictment against Pittsburgh. It's the facts. He's talking about Andy Reid, who's been regarded as offensive genius with creativity. So Is it that hard to? So what I'm saying is, I forgot who it was that told me to mention that. I know his name and email, but I don't forget what your name is here. Not saying that you're making that claim. I'm just saying I saw a lot of people pointing that out and saying, "Oh, see, Pittsburgh." I'm like, yeah, I get it, but really break down that statement. We talking about Andy Reid, and we're talking about Andy Reid versus Randy Fichtner and Matt Canada so far. That ain't that far fetched, bro. That's yeah, that's just not so far of a reach on Juju's part. That's all I'm saying. Moving right along, what else do I have? Oh, I wanted to point out something that Flo had mentioned to me, and this is bad. I'm going to just read this to y'all real quick, and then we'll talk about it at my final point as well. Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers rush offense, 28th. Pass offense, 23rd. Total offense, 28th. Scoring offense, 30th. Pass defense, 22nd. Rush defense, 22nd. Pass defense, 31st. Total defense, 30th. Scoring defense, 27th. Kickoff returns, 32nd. Punt returns, 21st. Giveaways, 27th. Yards per carry, 27th. Touchdowns, 30th. Field goal percentage, 28th. And Floyd's exact comments was, damn, bruh. I didn't know we were this bad. I did not know either. That hurt me to my heart, man. That's bad, bro. That's bad. That is bad. I told y'all, I didn't think they were going to be this bad. I did not. I am not sitting here saying that. But remember, at the beginning of the season, I said, look, man, I don't have no expectations for this season. We don't know what the offense is going to be. We don't know what Mitch Trubisky is going to be. We don't know when Kenny's going to play. We hope the defense can keep up. I also said, well, we got to see what these corners be like. Everything was an if. Excuse me. We didn't speak with any confidence. Most of us didn't. Some of y'all did, because you got the black and gold glasses on. I get it. But when reality sets, hold on real quick, guys. I think my little man is outside. Hold on. Give me a second. I thought I left the door open. Hold on. Hey. The door is not open? Yes, it is. Turn it. All right, guys, give me 2 seconds. I got to let my little man in the door. It's live TV, baby. I'll be right back. All right, folks, we back and action. So, like I said, that's pretty bad, bro. That's pretty bad. Let's move right along. Let's move right along. My last point of the night, and then I'm gonna get to the phone calls. I got questions for Coach, man. Mike Tomlin said he's highly involved in the offense and has been. Whoa. Now, I know Mike Tomlin is a stand-up guy. He doesn't throw his coaches under the bus. It could be a little more of that, all right? But let's just assume that it's not. Let's assume that Mike Tomlin is telling us the absolute truth. He has said that he allows his coaches to coach. So you would have to assume that maybe when he does this, because he's done this for quite a few coaches on the staff, he doesn't throw them under the bus. But let's just assume that what he said is 100% correct. He's highly involved in the offense and has been. I got questions. I have a question right here that I have about Matt Canada, and I've been having this for the last couple of weeks. Matt Canada, first few series wasn't too bad as far as play selection. But then more of the same started creeping in. These times when he just runs the ball first down, second down, I mean, we get no yards, and literally puts himself in a third and long. Now, do you expect not to gain enough yards in the run game? No, but there were situations where I felt like we shouldn't have ran first and ran on second. There were boxes that we were facing. Shouldn't have ran on first and ran on second. I mean, sometimes the defense has to dictate. And I feel like Matt Canada does a poor job with adapting to what is unfolding. I feel like sometimes he has a plan and he wants to get back to his plan and he sticks to it. I do understand when people say sometimes you got to stick to it until it pops. I get that. But there's also a point where you have to look at what you're facing and decide, is this working? Is it not? And I think Matt Canada sometimes gets too complacent in doing what he wants to do. He had some moments in the game, and then their moments showed right back up again. I marked down right here. There was, again, a third down situations where I saw verticals by all three of the eligible receivers. And if it wasn't a straight, flat, go route, it was a deep comeback. He did this repeatedly against Cleveland. And I'm like, dude, can we mix it up a little bit? The pass to Zach Gentry, where, with some cross action going on and we hit Gentry on the third down, that was great. Run some of those concepts where it creates natural rubs and things like that. Run some mesh. Run some double slants where you can get that. Do more of that. Run some levels and things like that. He's not doing it that often. And that's my point. He's not doing it often enough. However, if Mike Tomlin has his hand in that, then my question is at him too. I'm a fan of Mike Tomlin. I think he's a great leader of men. I do think Tomlin knows football as well. But I definitely will say that there's been a lot of games where it felt like we were out-schemed for the majority of the game. And what I mean by that is, okay, come in with your plan, but then make adjustments. There have been games in his career that he made adjustments, right? So for all of those years, a couple years back when our defense was playing well, okay, I'll give him credit for that too, because apparently his hand is in everything. So we got to give him credit for those as well as we got to criticize him when things aren't well. But I have questions. Why do we keep guys that are in-house? We continue to do this in-house promotion thing when it comes to coordinators. I don't understand that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Why do we have so many situations, man, when we get caught with guys like Robert Spillane on Stephon Diggs? And guys, if I'm not mistaken, that may have been base. I think that was, we were in base because I notated here, and you're going to hear it on the all-22 footage. But Highsmith was also in coverage, which is a clear indication that was base. And yes, if I remember correctly, I want to say that was the play. It was 11 personnel, but what they did is they split out number 85, the tight end, out wide. They had trips on that side with Diggs in the middle. I think that was the play. I could be confusing with another play, but there was another play. Remember the play when, this was the one with Bush and Minka. Remember the play when there was man coverage and it looks like Minka came down and he was chasing after Davis? They had trips on that one side again. Everybody playing man. For whatever reason, Devin Bush and Millette plays the same guy. Devin Bush doesn't play the guy in front of him. The guy in front of him, who is Davis, runs the out, and here comes Minka in a robber situation trying to chase him. And, it's open before the play even starts, if that's the coverage. And that's why I have these questions. In that particular play, were you purposely doubling I think it was Diggs in the slot. Are you purposely doubling him with Bush and Marlette? And then you're going to ask Minka to come all the way down and get Davis, which again, if you're expecting Davis to run a vertical and run right at Minka, maybe. But it sure enough looked like to me that Minka was robbing. And Davis runs a quick out. No way you're going to cover that because the trash is already created by Bush, who leaves this position to go over here to cover the slot. Mike T, I got questions, man. I know a lot of people say we should be questioning the coordinators. We should, but again, let's just take Mike Tomlin's word at face value. If what he's saying is true, we got to ask these questions. Do I think it's a little more tongue-in-cheek? Probably. But even if it is that he allows his coaches to coach, and I'll end with this, even if it is that, why are you allowing these coaches to do the same thing over and over and over, banging their head up against the brick wall? You're the top man. I need some changes to happen. This is not good, man. It's not good. And I'm not getting into all of the nonsense. Some people saying, oh, Tomlin has ever done his role, Ben's coach. Whatever, man. Whatever personal feelings y'all got about the guy, it is what it is. I still think Mike Tomlin is an excellent leader of men. If you don't think he's the best X and O's guy, I can understand that. But I think he's been a great coach for the Steelers. Yes, he has his warts. But I got questions, even as a fan of Tomlin. Come on, man. This is just not, it's not looking good. Point blank, period. And oh my goodness. Guys, on that 98-yard touchdown, let me just say this before I get to the calls, because y'all can't see it. Minka Fitzpatrick is playing the dime backer alongside Miles Jack. Mind you, this is 3rd and 10. The Bills are on their 2. Minka looks as if he's doing a delayed blitz, but now that I think about it, it kind of goes along with what Tomlin was saying about keeping an eye on Josh's mobility. Because if you remember on that play, Minka did somewhat of a delayed blitz and hit Josh Allen. Allen just got the ball off just in time. But why did they score? We were playing man across the board. Looked like we were playing 2-man. That's the way it developed, right? However, do you know who were the deep safeties? At the strong safety spot, Arthur Marlette. Free safety spot, Trey Norwood. And they are playing a tight alignment, meaning they are basically standing on the hash. Very close to the hashes. Norwood here, Marlette here. They're not playing wide, they're playing tight. So I'm like, okay, if it's 2-man, they're supposed to play deep third, right? But guess what they do at the snap? They don't backpedal to get depth. They run directly to the number 1 receiver on each side. One side was the guy who scored, who was Davis. The other side was probably Stephon Diggs. I just don't recall right now, but there was trips on one side, if I remember correctly, and there was a single corner on the other side, single receiver. So number 1 on that side, and you have 1, 2, 3 on this side. The safeties immediately turn horizontal and run towards the number 1. You know what happened? Of course y'all do. How did Davis get behind him? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention their favorite thing. They were playing off man with Wallace on that side. On the other side, Cam Sutton was playing tight man, press man. Didn't press, but in press alignment. But y'all know we're good for having one guy show press and the other guy show off man. Well, Levi Wallace, off man, he backs up, gives inside position. And because Norwood is running horizontally, Davis runs a post. And he runs right in between them. And he scores 98 yards. So many questions I have on that play. if that was your intention, your safety's got to get more depth than that. Even if your intention is to double, can you run at an angle? Run at an angle. You don't just turn horizontally and like we're not playing Josh Allen, who has a cannon, who can outthrow coverage. And again, 3rd and 10 from the 2. Okay, you're worried about Josh Allen's mobility, perhaps. But why are we taking Minka out of the post? Like my man Cutboy just said, I'm sure they were trying to disguise it, man, but you got to see it. You have to see it. And again, y'all are going to see it. Let me see how much time I got left on it. I think it has uploaded. You guys who are members of the channel, I will release it right after this show so you can watch it. If you don't want to watch the entire 50-something minute video, I get right into that first drive. So don't worry. And you might be right, A&R. That could be on the player. See, that's what I'm saying. It could be on the player. However, it definitely looked like the safety's immediate decision was to double. And if you see it, you'll understand what I'm saying. But all right, man, let's get to the phone calls, man. Again, I'm sorry to take up so much time, man, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. We have 5 calls right now. Let's say we spend 15 minutes in calls. And I'll spend the last 4 or 5 minutes just talking to you guys. Let's be quick, in and out, and hopefully we can get all of you guys in. Man. First in the queue, area code 973. What you got for us?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, man?
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. It's just a Sim, man, brother. It's just a sad day in Pittsburgh, man. As a Steelers fan, I'm just depressed. First of all, the topic with Mike Tomlin. I'm not even gonna beat up on Mike, but I still can't buy this 31-3, and you sent Chris Boswell out there for the field goal. That's one. Claypool, Deontay Johnson, it seems like they can't catch Cole. Cole hit him. George Pickens, in my opinion, right now is our best receiver. Right now. Yeah. He may not be all around like Deontay, but I'm talking about that dog and catching the ball. Deontay seemed like he progressed. Like he was getting better. Now he just missing balls. Okay, and 3, Devin Bush. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he's not it. It seems like it's bust written all over him. And you're right, I think Najee's hurt, and Jaylen Warren is giving us more running. So it's really not the line because Jaylen Warren is going through the hole. Najee's got the lacerated foot. Maybe he's not telling the staff because he got that hunger, he want to play. But it doesn't really look good. And what's our Matt Canada? He might well coordinate some high school football team because he doesn't have a clue what's going on. So it's just a sad day, brother. I'd just like to get your impact on it. And you have a good night.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the call. I don't have much to even respond to that, man. You hit a lot of areas, and I agree. It's just not looking good. Pickens definitely looks like the best receiver right now. Like you said, like I said too, Deontay might be better overall in terms of overall skill set, but Pickens is, he's walking it. You know what I'm saying? It's clear. Pickens is going to be a dog. Clear. And, yeah, man, I think something's up with Najee. I really do. I think that injury is more significant than any of us would have known. And that's what it is. Like I said, I don't think it's a skill thing with him, but it's just not looking good. And like some of you guys mentioned to me in the post-game show, and I forgot to mention that tonight, so thank you for bringing it up. Yeah, Tomlin, I mean, don't live in fears. That's what he always says. He always says don't blink. And some of them times going for them field goals, nah, man. Defense ain't stopping them boys anyway. Try to put up points. I'm not saying I agree with this decision last night, but do a Josh McDaniels and go for 2. I wouldn't have done that in that scenario, actually, because you still got to stop the Chiefs. But whatever. I'm just saying, them field goals do nothing for us at that moment. Appreciate the call. All right, next up, area code 951. What you got for us?
Hey, this is Pittsburgh out of Cali. What's up, man? Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Just had a quick question for you and the Steelers family out there. I remember back in the day, and I'm in my 30s, so when we had Chad Scott at corner, Dwayne Washington, back in the Cordell Stewart era, Steelers love to have those physical corners that can tackle, right? But when are the Steelers going to get caught up with the times, man? I mean, the NFL has changed, especially offensively. You got 6'4", 6'5" receivers and tight ends that can fly. So why haven't the Steelers put a little bit more effort or put a little more money, whether that be free agency or, go a little higher in the draft if they can, at drafting specifically cornerbacks that can cover down the field? That's all I got, man. Thanks.
Man, Pittsburgh, you put me right back on track. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about when I said I had questions for Tomlin. I'll be brief. Yeah, philosophy might need to change a little bit. Even with the whole bell cow approach with the running back. Again, listen, I'm not sitting here saying that Mike Tomlin isn't a good coach. I've never said that. I say he is a good coach. I see somebody in the chat say, fire Tomlin and bring back Todd Haley. Whoa. See, everybody's opinion is different. Todd Haley over Tomlin as a head coach. Whatever. I respect it. But I feel like Tomlin, maybe sometimes some of his warts is that he sticks to his guns too. He sticks with his philosophy, and you know what I mean? Maybe you can't continue, like how we could tell with the Steelers, like how Alex the Steelers Depot and those guys can say, oh, what the Steelers look for. Maybe we need to get away from what we look for and start, trying some different types of players in all positions. And like you said, corners. We need to go for cover corners, man, because clearly our secondary, when the rush isn't there, and I know rush and coverage goes together, but our secondary be looking like Swiss cheese out there, man. And it's been like that for a long time. Name a beast cornerback that the Steelers have had in the last 20 years. You won't find many. Just saying. Mr. Winningham, area 803, what you got for us tonight, sir? Good evening.
Good evening. It's been a long time. I've been a Steelers fan for a long time, but it's been a long time since I've seen them look so bad. We have a very amazing, talented defensive staff. I don't know what I don't know what Mike Tomlin's role is on offense, but Matt Canada should be taking a page and should dumb down the playbook and script his plays and find out what works better. I don't know whether he's putting a coin in a slot machine and figuring out what play to call. I mean, this guy's clueless. There needs to be some kind of change, and I think Mr. Rooney is walking the halls right now and will make a change when needed. I hope we probably shut down Najee Harris at some point so he can get healthy. The good news, I think I heard today that Demonte KZ, suspension has been lifted. So once he comes back off injury and we get some more bodies back, things will be looking a little bit better. But it's been since 1983, Thanksgiving Day, I believe. We got beat 45-3. 1989, we got beat 51-0. Those years we made the playoff. But God knows we ain't going to make the playoffs this year. But I'm just giving everybody a little history lesson. And at the end of this month, I will be going to my first Pittsburgh Steelers game. But it's going to be at Philadelphia on the 30th. Everybody have a great night.
Man, Mr. Winningham, appreciate you coming through and dropping some wisdom on us, man, giving us that history lesson, and hope you enjoy that game. I hope Steelers find a way, but them Eagles is rolling, man. But yeah, kind of speaking to what you said about Rooney, I mean, it's time for some changes, man. And again, listen, as much as I like Mike Tomlin, y'all think I'm going to cry if whatever reason, Tomlin no longer coaches. The day is coming. I just think sometimes the opinion that some people have of Mike Tomlin is a little crazy. Again, shout outs to Mark Malone in the chat, but you clearly just have it in for Tomlin. And I'm not saying it's nothing personal. I'm just saying you're just not a fan of him. But some of the comparisons that you're using is like, Todd Haley? I'm sorry, I just don't agree. If we're talking about head coaches. And I saw somebody in the chat, and y'all having some good banner over there, man, kind of saying, look, all teams go through this. We're just going through the transition. Yeah, I believe that. You know, it's tough on Steelers fans because we're used to winning. I get it. But it's just our time, man. I think this is our time that, yeah, you know, it's just our time. We just got to live with it. And again, whether you hate or love the coach, this is the time that we're in. And some of these wild accusations, though, about some of these coaches that would be better, I don't think I agree with that. But anyway, let's get back to the phone calls. We got to keep it short, guys. We got 5 calls, and we have about 10, not even 10. We got about 7 minutes to get them in. Area 318, what you got for us?
Whoa, what's up, Mark?
What's going on?
Oh, nothing, man. Just first, I want to just, show love to all the teams that play Sunday. They give it their all, even though it didn't look like it, but, they fought, you can say. But just throwing that out there. Man, basically, that was a homicide on TV. I'm surprised they broadcasted that, man. I'm trying to make it short and sweet. Everybody touched the points. We just look awful, dog. I'm the type of person. I'm the type of person that it's Sunday. In a given Sunday, the NFL caliber players at a high level, anything can happen. But I just want to go to work and just be happy one day. But that's it, man. Y'all have a good day.
Man, I'm with you there, man. It's funny because I was going to write into Steelers Depot and say, man, I just want a victory Monday. Been a long time, man. This hurts. It does. It hurts. Nobody wants to see the team do this. And it's funny because some of them games, at least 2 of them games, we were in them. If you want to include Cleveland, that's 3. It's just, the stench is bad. But I'm with you, brother. Let's move to the next call. Area 214, what you got for us?
Hey, Sam, this is Brent calling you from Dallas, Texas. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Brent?
Oh, not much, man. Thank you for having me on. I'll be brief. I just wanted to share a more realistic, point of view on this. For the people that are kind of up in the panic, we're a spoiled fan base. We enjoyed success for a very, very long time, and then when that doesn't happen, everything is just kind of out the window. All teams, I repeat, all teams go through a transitional phase. Unfortunately, it's just our turn right now. Fortunately, though, we don't have to do a complete rebuild. We have pieces in place that we can build off of, but there are just certain areas that we need to build on and get better. So again, everybody relax, try not to panic. Give this about 2 or 3 years, and we'll be back as a contender again. Thanks for having me on, Sim. Shout out to the Steelers football family.
Man, absolutely, Brett. And I'm going to share that sentiment. And there's not much I have to say after that. You are absolutely right. It's our turn. It's our turn. It has nothing to do with anything else. I mean, coaches, how you feel about them aside, how you feel about certain players aside, we here. It's our turn. Let's sit back and watch this team develop into something over the years. That's it. Area 334. Let's keep it quick, guys. I appreciate that. What you got for us?
Yes, sir, man. This don't look good. But I'm not so upset about how this playing out. If we're going to rebuild, we all need to accept it. If we're going to go in the cellar, we need to all accept it. We need to start focusing on our bank account. We got to start letting key players who getting paid a lot. We got to let them go. We got to start all over again, man. We got to start quarterback. Go in the draft, get you a couple of offensive tackles, one guard, get you some cornerback.
And let's be, it'll take 3 years to get it to where we want to go. Matt Canada, I've worked with him. I said, no, don't throw him on the bus yet. But I said, out the Buffalo game, he's not creative enough for picking. He's not the offensive coordinator for picking. Haley is a good example of what Pittsburgh is trying to do. You don't have no identity. The offensive line cannot run block. They're just getting better in pass blocking. So what do you need to do? Now, Mike Canada is not the answer. I'm just sorry. I was patient with the guy. He's not being creative enough. And he does not fit Pickett ability. Just doesn't. So I'm all for it. I don't care if Pittsburgh don't win another game because I'm looking into the future. And I'm concerned about they get another W. It looks like it ain't going to happen this year. If they do, hey, I guess it's a blessing. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, man, it's rough. And you know, again, you might be right about Canada. I think, you know, even from what I'm seeing, he has good moments, then he has these moments that he just falls into comfort. Like, what are you doing? You know, no Bruce Arians to him. No risk it, no biscuit. You know, he ain't got that. And it's like, it's crazy because what I appreciate what Canada has done is he's moved the pocket and getting Kenny on the move and play action and stuff. But like you pointed out, we can't run the football. How crazy is that? We're struggling more running the football than pass protecting when in preseason we were thinking pass protection was going to be the issue. The offensive line actually has not been bad with pass protection. Can't sustain a run game. And even when the run game starts to go a little bit, we go away from it. And then we come back to it, Canada, and run it back to back at times that we know it ain't going to work. Weird. All right, man, 2 more calls, man, and then we can get up out of here. Let's keep them quick. Area code 757, what you got for us?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Well, this is my thing, man. I'm an old cat, man. I'm 51 years old. I've been a Steelers fan my entire life. I root for 2 teams, one professional, one college. Notre Dame, when it comes to professional, college, don't hate me. Pittsburgh, when it comes to professional. We do not draft well, in my opinion. I say that to say this. We have not invested in the offensive line since David DeCastro. That's the issue. It all starts in the trenches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And by not doing that, ignoring that situation right there, and trying to hope and pray that we get a diamond in the rough somewhere along the line and plug into the offensive line, you're suffering. And when you look at Matt Canada, what is his pedigree as far as coaching that make him this guy that be able to call plays in the NFL? Just because you can do it in the college ranks, don't mean you can do it in the pro ranks. Look at that guy that used to be the head coach of Oregon. He came to Philly. They gave him the keys to the castle. He's trying to run plays, down the field, a new play every 10 seconds. These are old dudes. These dudes ain't going to do that. It didn't work. Canada is not doing it for me, and we're getting people to replace people that's been trained by the same people. So you're going to get the same nonsense. And that goes on offense and defensive side. I appreciate you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. I enjoy the show.
Man, I really appreciate the call. I see that 757 in there. I know that's Virginia. And y'all know VA is my home state, so I'm always going to show love to VA. You're right, though, man. Listen, if there's a knock that people want to have on Mike Tomlin as a whole, like I said, it seems like him and Kevin Colbert went for the same type of guys. Maybe didn't switch, flip the script as much. They dibbled and dabbled in it in the latter half of Colbert's career, last few years or so. But yeah, it's almost as if, like I said, maybe Tomlin has been a little stubborn in his approach. Again, I'm a fan of Tomlin still. But, you know, he's not void of criticism. We're supposed to do that as fans. And yeah, we just don't seem to have drafted the best in terms of need. You know, Steelers a lot of times go with the best player available. That's what the philosophy has been. Let's see what Omar Khan is up to. But yeah, not invested in the offensive line, and there you go. You know, they did it in reverse when they drafted Najee, right? Right? They took Najee and then they took Freiermuth. Freiermuth, hopefully he can stay healthy. He's got a few health issues, but then they tried to go offensive line with Kendrick Green, where some people would have did that in reverse. You know, Creed Humphrey was right there. You see what I'm saying? So I can't disagree with that. Not at all. But thank you for calling. And actually, my last caller here, I already know who this is, and he is probably a fan of yours already, 757, because this guy also is a Notre Dame fan and a Steelers fan. Let's bring him on. What's happening, brother? What you got for us?
Hey, brother, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
One thing that me and 757 got in common, we don't like USC. So that's a shot. Five shots to the guy that's named Kenyon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, I'm just being patient, man. You know, like you said, there's a lot of reasons of us, you know, scrutinizing Tomlin. You know, I see some things that maybe he could have probably done a little bit better. But, you know, I know people are going to say this over and over again, a guy that never had a losing season. I see some other things. I could be a little delirious sometimes, probably. Or maybe some things could be true, you know, just like the brother was saying. Maybe some of the drafts that Kevin Colbert had wasn't as good, you know, and wasn't as great. But sometimes I look at when we drafted. It seemed like we always, since Tomlin's been on, I mean, there's not too many times that we've drafted in the top 10. If you look at what's my man Devin Bush when we went up to get him. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times we drafted late on in the draft, and some of us the best players sometimes were probably either already gone. And when we scouted, maybe some of those offensive linemen, maybe they wasn't, you know, it could have not been as good. You know, the corner probably not been as good. And you know, we've always, you know, looked at the front seven. If you can bring pressure with the front seven, you know, for years, you know, hey, we had Ike Taylor back there. You know, we had decent corners, although we had Troy back there. But you know, just over the years, you know, and that's just how it was. Also, it took us 20-something years to get to the Super Bowl. Look at all the years that we went to division, you know, AFC divisional games, AFC championships, you know, and a lot of people that are probably in the chat, and probably some of the Steelers fans, they're so young. It's like what you said, they could be a little bit spoiled, like the other caller said. We could be spoiled sometimes because, you know, we see a lot of winning in their lifetime. That's what they've seen. Yeah. You know, we've seen some dark days. We've seen some dark times. We could have went from Terry Bradshaw, which is Ben Roethlisberger, to Neil O'Donnell. To Mark Malone. But look at Pickett is coming to play. So he played very, very well in his first game. So it's going to take a little time, you know, the chemistry between the offensive coordinator and then, you know, the brother. This is his first year being the defensive coordinator. So, just, you know, I'm willing to give it just a little bit, having a little bit of patience. We're so used to the Steelers just going out there busting people in the mouth, and you know. But hey, you know, just things happen. You know, we had injuries. You know, I just would say just us have patience a little bit. It might not be this year. You can't win every year. Sometimes we expect the Steelers to be winning like every year, and that's just like impossible. You can't sustain that every year. So I mean, it's going to take us a little time. If you look at, and I'm not going to hold you. I'm sorry, brother, to hold you up. I know you have to get it in and stuff. You look at Cincinnati. You look at Cincinnati. You look at Cleveland, right? Look at all those first round picks because they sucked for years. San Francisco sucked for years. Come on. That's why they got all those first round picks all over their team. Linemen, yeah, they have some good coaches. Stefanski is good, but look at their two corners, top corners. You know what I mean? You got Chubb. You got that offensive lineman. They built over the years because they had suck seasons. We didn't have suck seasons, and that's why I take my hat off to a guy like Tomlin that could have, he kept us in, pace with games, even though he lost games. But hey, some people said it, but some people were complaining, but Cal was losing a whole lot of AFC championship games. And sometimes I really wish that we never went to those AFC, championship games and didn't lose them all. So that's just my, what my view of that, brother. It's easy to look at those teams to see everywhere, all around on those teams. They got like top tier players. We got a few, but we just been plugging in players and stuff like that, and it's been working. So when it was working, we was good when it was working. The last 2 years, wasn't we in the playoffs? Last couple of years, when we were in the playoffs, we was plugging in players. As long as we was plugging in players and we was winning, we were okay. So now we struggling a little bit. Everybody complaining. So, brother, that's basically all I can say about that. One bright spot. I'm glad to see that Pickett is out there playing, it's good that he did, he's doing what he's doing on his first game. So that's all I got to say about that, brother.
Man, my brother Tony in the building. Appreciate Tony coming through. I saw Lanisha saying, I agree with you, caller. That's your boy Tony. I can take these off now. But yeah, appreciate it, Tony. And of course, guys, I'm just being honest. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little biased with my brother Tony. Call. I gotta let Tony rock for a little bit. But Tony's right. Listen, let me round up the show with this, man, and then I'll sit here for a few moments, read some chats and stuff like that. And if you disagree, please oppose what I'm saying. I don't mind. Opinions are just opinions. Just be respectful. At the end of the day, man, listen. I'm not here to tell anybody to like Mike Tomlin or hate Mike Tomlin. That is up to you. But it's just when I see some of the comparisons, when people throw a lot of these names out there, I'm like, all right, let's line them up. There's a lot of guys that I think that some of you would say are good coaches that are on the same level or worse. I saw Sean Payton's name. I've seen Mike McCarthy's name. Pete Carroll, and all of these. The list goes on and on and on. Andy Reid, right? How many Super Bowls has Andy Reid won? Now, are they winning? Absolutely. But I'm just saying, in his tenure, stack them up. It's not as easy as people think. There has only been, honestly, there's been one Bill Belichick, man. Him and Tom Brady just got on a sweet run, and everything just came together for them. You cannot take away what they did collectively. You cannot take away from Tom Brady that he has quarterbacked 7 championship teams. It is what it is. Whether you want to call them cheaters or whether you want to say that Brady was put in a position to win with the team that they built in Tampa, okay. I'm just saying you can't take any of that away. So for all of these names that you want to throw out there that's better than Tomlin, show me. Show me who they are. The real thing is, guys, as Steelers fans, we just haven't been to the mountaintop in a long time. And that's all it is. I don't even think it's really just a Tomlin issue. I really don't. Some of y'all it is, but I just think you're just not accustomed to seeing this, which is fine. But whether you think the man is good or bad, I can tell you this: no bad coach can stay in the NFL that long and not have a season that was a losing season. It's impossible. And I'm not here trying to say, oh, that makes him no, I'm just saying. I don't think you can be a horrible coach and not have suffered a season where you had more losses than wins. I don't think that's possible. He has his warts. Nobody has ever said he was perfect. I just feel like some people unfairly criticize coaches in general, right? When you don't know all the ins and outs, and if it was so easy, all of these teams, guess who else? Guess who also only has one Super Bowl so far? Aaron Rodgers. As super talented as he is, somehow Green Bay has not been able to get another ring with that dude. And who was they playing when he got his ring? Oh yeah, the Steelers. You know, when William Gay just didn't help us out in that game, nor did Rashad Mendenhall. But I'm just saying, man, it's not as cut and dry as us fans try to make it out to be. It's just not. That's not an excuse for nobody. Yes, we should be able to say, I don't like Matt Canada for this, or I like Matt Canada for that. We should be able to say, I don't like Terrell Austin for this, but I like him for that. We should be able to say, you didn't like Keith Butler for whatever reason, or maybe you did like some stuff. Todd Haley the same. Randy Fichtner. Yes, Mike Tomlin as well. We should be able to say what we don't like about Mike Tomlin and what we do like about Mike Tomlin. But many of you guys seem to think that you could do like this, put a new coach in there, and the team becomes this mega house. It doesn't work like that. Bring a new coach in, and I promise you it's going to take a little bit of time. I can guarantee you that. Sometimes lightning strikes. You catch lightning, right? You know, Sean McVay came in hot. Didn't win the Super Bowl, and they finally got themselves back, won a Super Bowl. It just, you know, sometimes you catch that lightning quick. But for many other coaches, it don't work that way. But like I said, you cannot be a horrible or bad coach and stay in the league as long as he has, period. And yes, okay, playoff record isn't stellar. It ain't the worst either. But I'm just saying, hate him or love him, we have to start being realistic as fans. And some of these comparisons that you dudes are throwing out there as far as who your coach should be, I'm sorry. I don't know how you come to that conclusion even after the Mike Tomlin era. So, all right, man. Let me read a few chats. Carmichael the Guru says, Sports Guru says, now fans want to fire everyone, but wasn't saying that after the Bengals game. It's called flip-flop. You know, them things that people put on their feet, plop, 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 plop. That's what it's called. They flip-flop. Round of applause to my man Luis. Oh, hold on. Let me read this comment. Mark Malone says Tomlin is a mouthpiece. That's it. Okay. Respect your opinion. My man Luis, round of applause. Appreciate the donation. He says, I'm really not used to this losing streak by this team. That being said, maybe having the top 5 pick next year is what we need to turn this around. Perhaps. But what's funny is, man, I still somehow feel like the Steelers still ain't going to be in the top 10. Watch, dog. What we 1-4? It's a lot of football left. I still don't think they're going to have a top 5 pick or 10. Watch. It would be great. I would take it because then all of the picks are high. But don't count on it. Don't count on it. We'll see. Rajan says Bill Cowher higher at 92. Didn't win the big one until 05. You know what people are going to say? Oh, well, he didn't have a franchise quarterback. That's always the argument. J.J. Walker. People have been on Tomlin for years. Yeah, they have. C. Brown, when the Steelers winning when the Steelers winning, they like Mike Tomlin, but when they losing, they hate him. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's how it goes, man. Tomlin wasted the vast majority of Ben's career. Wow. Mark, can you do me a favor? Can you just tell us all that you just hate Mike Tomlin? Just say that. Can you please type in the chat, man, I just don't like Mike Tomlin, so we don't even have to question any more of the takes. So we don't have to disagree with that. We just say, oh, okay, yeah, he's just not a fan. I'm cool with that. But some of these claims to me, it's hard for me to agree. Tomlin wasted the vast majority of Ben's career. Okay. But like I said, man, just say it. Just say you hate Mike Tomlin. Oh, J.J. Walker says he's spitting facts. Okay, maybe J.J. agrees. Okay, that's cool. Thank you for that, Mark. So now I don't even have to look at any of your takes and question it, or thank you for just putting it out there. You hate Mike Tomlin. Thank you. Thank you. I say I'm cool with that. I'm cool with people sticking to what they do. But Mark Malone, I'm saying this now. If the Steelers at some point win another Super Bowl, or they start really, really winning under Mike Tomlin for the however long he's gonna be the Steeler coach, don't switch that. That's the only reason why I'm telling you to say this, so we all know. Don't switch up. Just don't switch up. Just stick to not liking him. Even if the Steelers get number 7 at some point under Mike Tomlin, stick to that. Let's see. C. Antoine Hill says, we might have to take a seat like the Golden State did a couple of years ago, and I'm here for it. At least the Phillies are doing great and Sixers are looking good. Yeah, but you know, it ain't the Steelers. Love my Sixers, but man, I need my Steelers to be, you know, I just want to see. I just want to see us do something. Round of applause, man. Luis with another donation. He says, I'm glad that I'm not the only one who thinks the Steelers can improve, especially when TJ comes back, but out of the top 10 pick, we'll be out of the top 10 pick. Yeah, it's crazy as it looks right now. I still think the Steelers are going to fool around and win like 7 games, man. You know what I mean? So it's weird. It's very strange. I'm just saying. I would love for us to actually. I hate saying this because we're covering the team and my heart hurts every time they lose. But I would love for us to be in the top 10, top 5. I really would, man. I really would. A couple more. Walter Worthy says, come on. We all know Tomlin won the Super Bowl. Cowboys players. Okay, even though Cowboys went 8-8 with Cowboys players before leaving. I like how he did the Jay Underrated says, every other fan base loves Coach T. Even Coach T worst days. Crazy how fans talk about it. It's, like I said, man, some people just have a personal disdain for the dude, man, and it's all good. Steelers card says 7-10 is still a top pick. Okay, well, I'll take it. I'll take that top 10. What else we got? Somebody says facts, Zuami. What Zuami say? He says, we know why they really hate Mike. Okay. Okay. Mel says, with a beat up defense, should Tomlin reconsider full pad practices? No. It's football. That's just my opinion. It's football. Haas H says, Ben Roethlisberger wasted most of Ben's career. Y'all are tripling. Tomlin didn't turn the ball over in 2017 against Jacksonville, which was the last time we had a real shot. sometimes the comments sell themselves. I don't even have to say nothing. Antoine always in here talking about some basketball. I'm just messing with you. Still Reid says Tomlin can win more Super Bowls, but he's got to have good X's and O's, OC and DC. Yes. See, and that's why it's odd to hear Tomlin say how much he's involved with the offense and defense. Again, what I think it is, I think it's tongue in cheek. I really think he's just protecting his guys. He's not throwing them under the bus. But that is a fact. What Tomlin definitely needs to do is he needs to consider hiring some new blood, man, when it comes to these coordinators. Honestly, if it's Tomlin, which I think it is, you got to stop promoting from within. If it's Rooney influencing that, then you got to stop promoting from within. But whoever it is, which I think is Tomlin, because I've heard that Tomlin has full autonomy over his staff, we got to stop doing that promotion from within. Because if you were a quarterback's coach last year, then you're very familiar with the offense. Yeah, we're seeing a few more sprinkles from Randy Fichtner from Canada, but it's still the same philosophy for the most part, right? As far as mindset. You got to get some new blood, man. You got to get new blood. Stop hiring guys from within to fill voids. Stop doing that. Like, it would have been cool if, let's say Terrell Austin wasn't there. And let's say you would have hired Flores as the coordinator. Oh, that's new blood. See what I'm saying? Stop hiring dudes from within. Stop doing that. Yeah, that's all he's doing, Guru. I believe that in my heart. He's just covering up for his guys. Because in the same breath, he said he allows his coaches to coach. So, but all right, man, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to shut this thing down tonight, man. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. What a turnout tonight, man. And y'all always amaze me and surprise me how often, you guys come through. Pretty decent crowd tonight, so I appreciate that. Yeah, listen, it is what it is. Claude Bishop says, so your Tomlin one with Bills players is weak, but you don't know better. Oh, I think he's talking to somebody else. I think you're commenting to somebody else, so I'll stay out of it. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to get out of here. Let me remind y'all of this. Boom, boom, boom. 3 things I need y'all to do. Like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. That's very easy, very simple. Very easy, very simple. Also, what I need you guys to do is listen. Thank you, the Red Wolf. I appreciate that. I'm humbled by that. Thank you. What I need y'all to do, man, is just, let's just enjoy the ride. This is going to be a rough run. A rough one. Bumpy ride. Let's just enjoy it. Let's embrace it. Like I said after the game, there's a bright spot. Kenny Pickett, I think there's something there with this kid, man. It's too early to make any real determinations. He's played 6 quarters, okay? We cannot make a determination. I won't even be able to make a full determination on who he is after the season is over. Let's just enjoy the ride and evaluate. Played relatively good. Made a couple misreads in the game, though. There was 1 or 2 times where I thought he missed Claypool or bailed the pocket a little early, but it looks like he played a bit better than he did against the Jets. So the moment wasn't too big for him. So there's a bright spot there, and there's a bright spot with George Pickens. My goodness. And we shall see. We shall see. But outside of that, only thing else I need you guys to do, man, is just stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Good night. And until next time, more than likely, it will be post-game show. However, there is possibly something that's coming up on Sunday that's going to keep me out of the home again. I'm going to fight this one, though. But if I am unable to watch the game in real time, for whatever reason, I'll do what I did this past Sunday, and I will still do a reaction show later that night. But I expect that I will be able to still watch this one on time at 1 o'clock. And if so, we'll do the normal post game. But either way, I'll see you guys on Sunday for sure. Friday, Saturday, maybe. But outside of that, man, y'all be good. Thank you for tuning in. Love y'all. Have a good night. Keep your spirits up. And always represent them Steelers, man. Win or lose. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.